Call the meeting of the Liberty County. Call the meeting of the Liberty County Board of Commissioners to order now that the microphone's on. Thank you, Mr. Michael. Good afternoon. It's good to see everyone. Mr. Brown, has the meeting been properly advertised?
Yes, sir, it has.
Thank you. This time, we're going to ask our most efficient Assistant County Administrator, I'm building him up, to lead us in our invocation and our pledge, please, Mr. Joe Mosley.
Let's pray.
Man.
Gracious and kind Father, we thank you for your bountiful blessings that you bestow upon us on a daily basis. We are ever grateful, Father. We are blessed people, and the matter of the tragedy and the constants and the things we go through, Father God, we are better than blessed in most of the world. We pray now, Father God, that you will bless this body as they deliberate the business of this community, that you be with them and give them the wisdom, the guidance, the foresight to take on the difficult tasks that we face as a community. Now, Father God, we praise you and we bless you. For it's in Christ's name we pray. And everybody said,
Amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How was that, Commissioner Gillett?
We get close, baby. Hey,
Mr. Brown, there has been some discussion about perhaps adding an agenda item for executive session. But you direct me, please, sir. Personnel and real estate.
And legal matters.
And legal matters?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Those are the three. All right, so is it still the desire of the?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss a legal matter.
Okay. Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, show of hands, please. All right, we will add that. We try to move as expeditiously as we can. We know Commissioner Gillett has another event, so we'll try to move. Let's see, if Samantha and Trent doesn't mind, do we think that'll take very long?
No, I don't
Okay,
think it will.
okay,
I think
all right.
it'll be
All
as
right.
long as we want it to be.
All right, well, or shorter than what it be. All right, good. So let's do that right after the Youth Commission update. All right. Proclamation, Great American Cleanup. See Dr. Bell.
Hey, Dr. Bell. How you doing?
Well, I look a little different, a little shorter, huh? Ashley, you come on up here too.
Yeah, Dr. Bell always brings a.
This is my partner in crime.
Yeah.
We're the A-team.
Good.
So we want to propose the proclamation for the Great American Cleanup.
Now, do this for the matter of record. I'll give both of your names, so
Oh,
we
sorry.
know you're not Dr. Bell.
Ashley Roberts.
And Amanda Jeffers.
Okay.
The Great American Cleanup for our upcoming cleanup, that's going to be taking place starting in Midway, which will be this weekend, is the 23rd. And the city will follow on April the 27th with the countywide cleanup as well.
Okay.
We're proclaiming it's March through June as the Great American Cleanup.
Okay. All right. And what do you have there with you?
I have a special challenge for you, Chairman.
Do you? Uh-oh. What am I?
This is your personal cleanup bag. So
What?
that's for you. And the county needs to get the trophy back from Hinesville this year, because Hinesville has it proudly displayed in their city hall. So we are challenging you to bring more people to our Year County cleanup, which is on April 27th at Bradwell Park. So we are putting a challenge out to everyone.
So Mayor Rouse has one of these too? I got to fill mine up the most.
Yes, sir. You have to definitely.
There's a scale in there, and so then we're gonna scan that QR code and put the numbers in to see who.
I have to check my calendar to make sure it's free for that. All righty.
But you don't wanna display that trophy as well.
Yes, I do.
Mr. Chair, it looks like safety is first, too. It looks like it's a safety vest in there, too,
There's
right?
a safety vest,
Absolutely.
gloves, a biodegradable bag. You got a litter reacher, so you got everything you need.
She trying to say no excuses.
No, absolutely no excuses.
And if you give me your size, I'll give you a free t-shirt.
But you know, Mr. Chairman, I just give you just a heads up that
Uh-oh.
ESG, at certain times of the year, we have 140 employees, so if you shoot for.
At certain times of the year?
Yeah.
How about April the 27th?
We could deploy them, anytime.
Y'all like the third idea?
There you go.
Mr. Brown, we
Rapid deployment.
we gotta hire some part-timers real quick. PRA people. We look forward to it, we look forward to it.
Yeah, so the proclamation we've already sent into the office and you guys.
Okay.
We do.
All right.
You want me to- Yes, sir. This is Great American Cleanup 2024. The Great American Cleanup is the country's largest community involvement program that includes more than 15,000 events each spring. This national program engages more than 500,000 volunteers and participants who take action in their communities to create positive change and lasting impact. Whereas Keep America Beautiful is the nation's leading community involvement nonprofit organization that envisions a country in which every community is a clean, green, and beautiful place to live, and has established the Great American Cleanup as its signature national effort for involving American citizens in improving their community environment. And whereas the Keep America Beautiful Great Cleanup is the nation's largest community improvement program, engaging more than 500,000 volunteers and participants every year to create positive change and lasting impact in local communities. Whereas the County of Liberty seeks to protect its natural resources and bring people together to transform public spaces into beautiful places. And whereas the Liberty County Board of Commissioners recognizes its commitment to engage citizens, civic and government officials, and business leaders to work together to end littering, improve recycling, and beautify America's communities. And whereas Keep Liberty Beautiful and the Liberty County Board of Commissioners are committed to elevate the importance of volunteerism and motivate everyone in our community to become stewards of the environment. Now therefore, I, Chairman Donald Lovett, do hereby proclaim April 27th, 2024, Keep America Beautiful Month, Great American Cleanup Day, and call upon our citizens to join in activities that promote responsible environmental stewardship and help us renew our commitment to building a better world today for future generations, so declared on this dated the 15th day of March, 2024.
And we appreciate all that you guys do in the community as well.
Thank you all for what you do. Now, Mr. Brown, I want to program the probate judge to come to the next one of these we have and let her read the pledge that Commissioner Gillett raised his hand to. I think it says Liberty County.
All right.
Just a fresh reminder.
Mr. Chairman, you're not gonna make him eat crow, is it?
Ladies, if you overcome, we'll do the photo.
Mr. Chairman,
Hey, this is our first rodeo, for real.
Well, come around this way, please. Yeah, we're gonna gently remind him of that pledge that he took.
At least 24 times a year, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Gillett, you cannot allow your workers to go in certain spots and dump trash in a pile. And then you go by and pick it up.
Where's your bag? Where's your special bag?
See, look. Now we know what to do. Right.
You hold, reach and hold, there you go.
One more time.
Trash. Trash.
1, 2, 3.
All right.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Joe Mo
it.
with it, man.
Thank you.
Y'all did well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Pickup day.
You know, we do encourage the entire Liberty County community to participate in cleanup efforts. It's very important that the community looks good. Commissioner Stevens generally talks about blight, and especially on our gateways. And I'm also reminded when industrial prospects come to Liberty County, that's one of the observations as to how well kept the community is. So we encourage the entire Liberty County community to be involved in the Great American Cleanup. Doesn't have to be the month of April, but whenever you can, participate so that the county puts on its best face for everybody who should make their way through Liberty County. Thanks again for what you do. Okay. All right. Youth Commission update. Whoop, whoop. That's some mighty fine-looking young people here.
Chairman Lovett, members of the board, we have with us 4 members of the Liberty County Youth Commission. And we got Ms. Kyla Mack, our president, Ms. Ronnie
Hi.
Long, Mr. Justin Jones, and Mr. Harris here. And they're going to give a presentation. Kyla will lead the presentation.
Okay. If y'all just stand on both sides of her, please.
I'm trying to figure out. I
There
can
you
just
go.
click it right here? Yes. Do I just press just any button? Okay. My name is Kyla Mack. I am the chairman for the Youth Board of Youth Commission Community. And this is our recap for the Atlanta trip that we had last month. So we just wanted to go over a few of the updates of the program. So Ms. Teresa and the whole entire group revamped the program in July and August 2023. They developed a theme called SAIL, which is Scholarship, Advocacy, Leadership, and Empowerment. And we all have been learning different lessons each meeting on those 4 different words, SAIL. And they have developed a schedule prior to us going into the group. So they provided a schedule with meeting dates, community service events, and then our trip to Atlanta. We had a sworn-in ceremony in September with y'all, if y'all remember us, of September. And then we went ahead and went over with our parents the SAIL ethics and the focus of this year's program. We also went through a procedure of the election of the officers, just like how you guys get elected. They also elected us the same way, and we learned a little bit, especially me, not wanting to be in government, I learned a lot about a chairman. It's nothing like a president. It's a little different than I thought. But we all got elected into office. Like I said, we do learn different lessons on the SAIL ethics, and then we also got to vote on our logo, which you can see on our thing. We also went ahead and did 4 community events this year. We did the Fall Festival, America's Recycle Day with the Keep Liberty Beautiful program, purchasing clothes and items for a student in foster care, and then also participated in the Hinesville Christmas Parade. Ooh, okay. Future focus for the group. We are still going to continue those SAIL classes with the acronym, and we're also going to continue our monthly 2-month meetings on Wednesdays for the next 2 months. We will also participate, we did participate in the 2024 MLK Parade, so I'm guessing we're going to continue to participate in that for next year, as well as we already prepared for that meeting with the Georgia State Capitol, and we all met with the Representative Al Williams and the ACCG legislative staff and the Fulton County Youth Commission, and the lobbyists. And then we will also work with several students to attend the ACCG Spring Conference in this April. Okay, so these are our officers. Once again, my name is Kyla Mack. The rest of our officers are not here today. You could read their names right there. Hopefully you recognize some of them. But I am the chairman, Ms. Kyla Mack. So these are a few pictures of our trip to Atlanta. That's our whole entire group. And then on that left picture, you can see we are mixed together with the Fulton Youth Commission. That middle picture is the picture of all of us, and then Mr. Larry on the left. And then you can see us sitting and viewing the whole entire, the meeting when we went to Atlanta. These are some more pictures. That's all of us sitting at the top. We're also speaking to a lobbyist. I can't remember his name, but we were speaking to a lobbyist.
Ron Mayo.
Yes, we were speaking to a lobbyist, and then also just another lobbyist on the right-hand side. And then we got to eat at, don't tell me the name. I'll remember. Breakfast at Barney's, yes. Breakfast at Barney's, it was great. And we also got to hear speaking from the owner of Breakfast at Barney's, who is also he's from here, correct?
Right.
Yes, he's from here, and he opened up Breakfast at Barney's. We got to hear his story as well. So these are a few of what we learned. I'll also have the students here tell you guys as well what they learned. So as you can see, my name's right there at the bottom. I learned that there's so much moving parts to make up the state capitol, which I guess I didn't think about it, but there is a lot of moving parts, and there's so much people involved. So that's what I learned. I'll let y'all tell them, and then, yeah.
I learned how lobbyists work and how they help people in the Capitol. I learned how the Capitol itself was structured.
I learned how different youth commissions operate and how really there is a drastic difference between Liberty County and Fulton County and different opportunities.
That's all we have for y'all today. Yeah, that's all we have for y'all. Are there any questions? No, no questions.
Picture of a young man on the right-hand side that looked like Commissioner Frazier.
Yes, Commissioner Frazier was there. Yes, he was there.
Well, I was there. I was there.
I think what I can appreciate from what you said is that by having this experience, you have expanded your horizons as to how government works. Even you said how chairmanship works.
Yeah.
The general public would not have any idea. There's a misconception of what it looks like from just sitting here conducting meetings, but when
Yeah.
you get really involved, there's a lot of, there's a lot of moving pieces in the Atlanta piece. There's a lot of moving pieces in the Liberty County piece. Yeah, there's lobbying in Atlanta. There's lobbying that we do here, even in Liberty County. In fact, I guess there'll be an announcement very soon that we were lobbying to find some funding for, we're trying to do a bypass road to help with the traffic in Hinesville, Liberty County. So we had to lobby for that. So we're just ready to celebrate some lobbying efforts where they're going to grant us some money. So lobbying is a part of government. So I can't not say how much I appreciate what you guys have been exposed to. And you're not done yet. You're not done yet. And preferably the day will come when you may consider, either working in government, which is certainly a career choice, and or serving. So thank you again, and you presented very articulately. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you all for coming. Questions for?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I'd just like to say congratulations to y'all for what y'all do. I've always been an advocate for the Youth Commission and glad to see y'all participating. I take it right now by y'all's age that our jobs are safe for right now. But hopefully that y'all
Speak for yourself.
Hopefully, maybe one day y'all will be sitting up here where we at.
Sitting over there where those two gentlemen are.
Yeah.
Or even doing the IT part that Michael, many pieces to, many pieces to. The finance part was Miss Samantha's over here, so. Engineering, I can go around the room, a news reporter. Many pieces to it, so opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
But thank you. Persevere, hang in there. What grade are you guys in?
I'm a senior.
You're senior, okay. Sophomore?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman?
Freshman as well.
Freshman as well. All right. Years of growth, years of growth.
So, Mr. Chair, it's good to say that our future is bright here. And I just want to make two statements. First, to my fellow commissioners, thank you all for the support from the beginning with the youth development projects that I've been trying to push. And again, this is the project, and it's tangible. And the education that these young men and women are getting an opportunity to be a part of is amazing. Even for them to get an opportunity to meet with Fulton County. And the thing about the Fulton County group, that was just their governmental portion that just focuses on the capital. Of course, Fulton County is a different animal, but just the legislative portion that they were looking at is amazing, and that's where I expect our youth commission to go. It's more than just having them here to learn about government, but it's another thing for them to participate in government, and that's what I want them to understand. That a lot of people say, "Oh, the youth is our future." You're absolutely right, but they're here now, and they're here, and we need to hear them because they are our future, and they're going to be running this place one day. So their ideas that they have today could work. And, last year they even had with the summer the summer youth program, internship program, they had opportunity to go see Splash and Burrow. And we didn't just take them to Splash and Burrow just to have a good time. They were educated on how Splash and Burrow was created. And let me tell y'all how Splash and Burrow was created one more time. Off of SPLOS. That was sales tax that Bullitt County invested into their community, not just off of buildings, not just off of roads, but they invested into their community for family entertainment. And off of that, they were able to generate revenue because we didn't get in free. We had to pay too. So again, to you all, I appreciate everything y'all do. Y'all look amazing in your sports coats, and not just amazing, you know, from the outside, but y'all are amazing within, and I appreciate y'all dedication to the program. Thank you.
Thank you, young people. Y'all come back now here.
I'll come back to Liberty County. Hey,
We're
Jesse.
we're not gonna take a picture with them?
Mr. Chair,
Chairman. You want a photo op?
Chairman, love it.
Behind them.
Before y'all come up and take a,
I'm sorry.
I just want to say to you, congratulations for taking a step forward. Mr. Brown is over there looking at me because he know I'm fixing to ask him something. You know, this was a part of my dream way back 12 years ago, might be longer, Mr. Brown. And anyway, we tried. We were successful to a little bit, thanks to the assistant administrator then, Mr. Sprinkle. Thanks to our Reverend Assistant Administrator over there now, Mr. Joe Mosley, for bringing the program on up. And I know you have other things, but you have made this a part of your duty. And I want to say thanks to everyone else up here for allowing this to be a continuing program in Liberty County, and we hope that we can carry it on out.
I want to say one thing, and I want y'all to be walking up. Whatever you do, be happy doing it. Do what makes you happy. And when you're there, you'll do a great job. Just continue to do that. I'm proud of you. My wife taught at First Presbyterian before it was a high school, and she moved on to different places. But I have a younger son that graduated there and was very involved, so he wanted to be a teacher, and he's happy. So whatever it is, jet plane pilot, farmer, it don't make any difference. Politician, just be happy. That's the thing you need to do. Life's short. That's it.
Thank you.
Come on out, take a picture.
I apologize. I forgot
You need
I apologize.
Okay.
Let's get in front of y'all. Okay.
I did a presentation.
You did ninth grade?
Yes, sir.
At First Prep?
Sir.
You go to First Presbyterian?
That's right, I go to Bauer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't think everybody.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Right here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Yeah, I went to First Prep 2 years. Pre-K and kindergarten.
They're not first prep.
Thank y'all so much.
Oh, yeah.
You get them all in.
I am gonna get them. I'm gonna take them all.
Matter of fact,
Matter of fact,
I'm give you my number right.
Get them all in.
it's okay.
He said,
I'm not
just
even
and I said,
Please don't.
Before we, let's see, Mr. Darby, you have an introduction you'd like to make to the commission?
Yeah.
Another position, young people,
Into the
fireman and fire marshal.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. Come to you tonight, bring you some good news. We have been prospecting for a assistant fire chief, specializing in the fire marshal's office, and we have turned and found somebody. So I would like to introduce you to Assistant Chief Charles Roney. Comes from us with a long history of fire service, specializing in the fire prevention. But I'm going to let him speak on himself. But he has started with us. This is his first full week. And currently he is already working on, I believe it is 7 projects that are industrial or commercial buildings in Liberty County.
Good afternoon. Like Chief Darby said, I am from, I just retired from Kingston Fire Rescue in Camden County. I've got over about 34 years of experience. In the last 15 years, I've actually developed the fire marshal's program for the city of Kingsland, and was able to retire and come up here. So I'm looking forward to it, and I've been busy, so appreciate it.
Well, sir, Mr. Chairman, what'd you say your name was?
Charles Roney.
Are you going to establish a more like a fee program to inspections and stuff like that? Is that your job?
Yes, sir. We've been working on it. We've got it together. It's been forwarded to Mr. Brown for review and trying to work through some things, and hopefully we'll be able to present it in the next few weeks.
Have y'all met before? I'm almost certain y'all did. You never met him?
Yeah, but I couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember. That was gonna be a shocker for the world.
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm Commissioner Frazier.
Nice to meet
I don't
you.
think we've met before.
No, sir.
There you go.
Good to have you. And
Good to have you on.
the work that you're doing is very vital to our growing community, especially when it comes to industry. We want to be on top of that. Want to be proactive and want to be where we need to be. So thank you, sir, for bringing your years of experience and dedicating yourself to that. We've been looking for you. We've been waiting
Thank
on
you.
you. We've been waiting on you. Welcome to Liberty County.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. All right, thank you.
Chairman, Commissioners, also, I did want to give you guys an insight. We do have a deputy chief starting with us on Monday, the 25th, to backfill the vacancy. Chief Huffman left us to pursue a career path being a fire chief for a neighboring county. So we have had a vacancy. We have done a crucial look into that, and we, as the board, for that interview, made a selection. I will bring him before y'all next month, so he can meet all of y'all. His name is Christopher Morrison, comes from us from DeKalb County.
I used to live in the cab, man. Boy,
Like you said, used to.
Zone 6.
Thank you, sir. You've been working hard and hard work's paying off.
Yes, sir. Thank you all very, very much.
Good to have this staff join the Liberty County family.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Listen, man.
All right, this time, Chair, take the motion to go out of regular session to executive session.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, show of hands. Ladies and gentlemen, go into executive session. We will try not to be long. Okay, we're going right back here. Okay. Samantha, financial report, please, ma'am. Back on mic.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
Good evening.
Commissioners. I'm here this evening to report on our January 2024 financial statements. As of the end of January, we have collected approximately 27% of our general fund budgeted revenues and have spent 59% of our budgeted expenditures. We currently have 0.1 month of operating expenses in our unreserved fund balance. For this fiscal year, this month is certainly our leanest financially and is the result of the timing of the property tax billing and collections. But I am happy to say that starting in February, this certainly turns around. So this is our leanest month. Looking at...
Let me go ahead and just,
Yes,
because
sir.
I know there's probably some gears turning. The tax bills went out later than we really expected, and we constantly working on that. We have been doing pretty good. We just got to go back to that.
Yes.
And Mr. Brown has created a timeline that will help us with that, working with the tax commissioner's office and the tax assessor's office so that we'll be able to get those bills out sooner. Because I think most folk know too that Tax Commissioner Jones was out of the office, and the office was operating and they had some staff changes. All those things were going at the same time.
Yes.
But you're right, we look for a turnaround in just a little while.
Yes,
But those are some of the
absolutely.
external factors that were going on that affected our cash flow. Okay.
Looking at the year-to-date general fund expenditures, there are a handful of departments that are running a little ahead of schedule. However, at this time, we do not anticipate any of the departments exceeding their budget for the year. For elections, we had some technical services expenditures, primarily the result of hosting the municipal elections in November and December. This is just causing this department to run a little ahead of schedule. Risk management, this is showing over budget for January as the county's contribution to the pension plan to ACCG is due each year by January 31st. So this is just a big one-time payment, but it should start to level out in the coming months. The Judicial Administration and the Conservation Administration, we pay dues one time a year for both of these departments. The district attorney purchased some books and periodicals early in the fiscal months, causing them to show a little ahead of schedule, but this is decreasing as we go throughout the year. Animal Services also incurred some expenses early in the fiscal year for vehicle repairs, and then also they're experiencing higher food costs for their animals. The chamber popped up this month only as a result of timing of the payments made, but we certainly don't expect to go over budget for this department. And then finally, our other financing uses. This is the drawdowns primarily on our 2022 bonds. Most recently for the construction of the Miller Park Fire Station. And we have until June to spend down the remaining funds. We are certainly on pace to do that. And then, turning the page to solid waste. At the end of January, solid waste currently has a small net loss of $87,000. But we will also see this turnaround in the more recent months as we continue to collect on the solid waste assessments. Through January, we've collected approximately 50% of our budgeted revenues and have spent approximately 53% of our budgeted expenditures for solid waste. Additionally, there are no departments currently exceeding budget. On the next page is our special revenue funds. The only one currently showing a small deficit is our victim witness at the district attorney's office. This is just due to a timing of some expenditures they paid for earlier in the fiscal year for dues and fees and fuel costs. However, we do not expect this fund to go over budget for the year. And now moving on to the sales tax reports. This is, better news for you all, but the first report is just a recap for sales tax 6. Currently, we have approximately $7.3 million left to spend on our projects for sales tax 6. Next, included in your packet is sales tax 7. We collected $1,164,000 for this month. This is our largest month of collections yet, which is the same thing I said last month. So
Keep saying it.
I know. Hopefully, it continues on this trend. And since sales tax 7 began, we have collected $9.7 million and have spent approximately $3.7 million to date. Similar to sales tax 7 is T-Splost. It was another good month for T-Splost as well. We collected $1,088,000 for January. Since the inception of this T-Splost, we have collected $36.8 million of our total $54 million. We have spent.
And it expires, you have to keep reminding me, it expires when, Mr. Brown? T-Splost?
T-Splosh will expire in 25, October of 25.
October 25, so basically 2 years. 36.8 of 54?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
I want somebody to factor that, not
How many months left?
how we're tracking.
But also, Mr. Chair, just a quick question from Mr. Brown. But the T-Splosh has a sunshine on it, sunset, right? Sunshine, sunset, huh?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
either way, right?
Yes.
So,
And that was set above the 54.
It was, I remember that.
It was set at 62.
60-something.
okay, so you picking up what I'm putting down. There we go.
Okay.
So, in your opinion, do you think that we might hit that target before that date?
So.
And if so, what would be the process to make sure that we don't lose a gap in T-Splosh if we figure out what bringing it back?
So we can do a chart. We'll do a chart. In fact, we already started working on T-Splosh renewal. We'll do a chart and forecast that out. So we can try to see what month it may stop. In looking at it, last time we looked at it, I don't think it's going to exceed the 64. Remember, T-Splosh doesn't have motor fuel tax or aircraft tax or anything built in it. So it brings in less money than the regular sales tax does. But we'll do that. Let us do that takeoff.
Right, I would just want
Yes,
to
sir.
make sure, because
Absolutely.
I would hate for us, because we have to put it out, correct, in a certain amount of time to the public and all of that. So I know it's a process, so I would hate for us to be behind the 8 ball and try to get everything together. So
Yes,
we could
right.
just look at that now.
Good point.
That'd be greatly
Yes, sir.
appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm on the other side of that. I really want to see what it does, because that helps us to make our projections for the next round of T-Splosh.
Right.
And your predecessor helped us with those numbers, and I was being, they said I was being overly optimistic. But it's turned out really well for us, really well for us. And I was with some folk yesterday who just said and I guess Pat Donahue may know, that the remainder of the troops who deploy will be all back by May. Did I hear that right? Yeah. So we can expect some increased activity.
More buyers, yeah. Okay, and just to recap on T-Splosh, we've spent approximately $17 million of our total $36.8 million. And that's all for the financials. I have also included.
Let me ask a question before you move
Yes, sir.
on. Remind me, you or Joey or Joe, animal, I mean, all of us know that going to the grocery store, prices aren't where they used to be. Did he factor in an increase for his food when he did his budget? Did he factor in? If not, let's just make a note of that so that. Yeah.
I can check.
'Cause
I
all
don't
of us can
remember
tell
what
by-
line.
The economy is doing well, but still, there's some things that are still,
Absolutely. Okay. Yes, sir.
And also, I know the city of Midway will have to have a special election to replace Councilman Malcolm Williams. I know Rhonda built in some contingency for runoffs, but I'm not sure if she built in for conducting, because those, if I hear her correctly, you have to structure it the way you would do any other election with the advanced voting, all those things.
You do, sir, and I think I saw a letter just notifying us of that, but the letter, I'm pretty sure I double-checked, seems that it will be held with the November election, so it wouldn't be any extra expense for the
Okay, so
precinct
it'll
polls.
flow with the other, okay.
Yes,
All right. But help me with this, with the November election, so those persons who will go to whatever precinct in the Midway.
They would still go, they'll go to the same precinct they would vote for either way. They won't have to change precincts for one or the other.
So everything else will follow that same election schedule, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Chair, I just want to request a meeting with you and Mr. Brown in the next 2 weeks about SPLOS. Just want to go on the record for that.
All right.
The last thing is I just wanted to let you know, I have given you all the FY '25 CIP. It's the large packet of papers, or long, not large, but just for your review, we can certainly go over this in more detail at the retreat next week. I just wanted to have that for you guys to be looking over. And that's all I have, unless you have any additional questions.
Any other question for Ms. Richardson? Commissioners, are you keeping up with your T-SPOS balances, your individual balances? All right, so I want you to consider any project you may be able to fund, jointly fund, whatever we have on the table. I know we have some things, Mr. Brown, that are, I know the Jones Creek is ARPA, but I know in your respective districts, I know you have some projects going on now that we, and Trent has a priority list, so we have that to follow. Okay, so to make sure everybody has what they need to. Okay, I'm getting nods. All right. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Speaking of Trent.
Yeah, that's the one I'm waiting on.
Do I need to leave?
No, take it like a man.
Okay. All right, so I'll try to run through these so we can get to Marion's questions quick.
There you go.
All right, so the Barrington Ferry Road Roundabout, we had a workshop. That worked well. We were trying to make some adjustments. One of the things they wanted me to really look at was having all four roads kind of come together instead of the Lewis Fraser Road tie-in at a T intersection adjacent to it. If we do that, it does throw us into having to get some right-of-way, and we're trying to avoid that. But I've got some stuff to them to look at, so we can kind of figure that out. We are still waiting on one last parcel for Wells Cemetery Road. Mr. Brown and I need to kind of talk with Commissioner Thrift about how she wants to proceed on that. The sidewalks at Elm Street and Windhaven are under construction.
Let me ask you, before I forget, please, sir, a citizen asked me, and I didn't pass it on to you, I just took it. How do we decide which sides of the road to put the sidewalks on? I said, I really don't know the answer to that.
Well, I can answer what we decided with that. So the project, of course, it costs a whole lot more today than it would have done previously. So that's still an incomplete project. The plan is to take it down Elm and then connect through Demery to go to Windhaven. So, you know, it'll be on that side of the road.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we chose that for future.
Okay.
That's right.
See,
So
you could have
now,
sent that to me.
And there are other things that go along with that as well. So when you're
Drainage
looking at it,
and-
you look at
topography.
economics of, okay,
But I
how
thought
much
it might have
cost
been
it on
some-
both sides.
Yeah, it was economic.
Some
Yeah.
engineering.
It was economic engineering
considerations,
going on.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a little bit of both. And you look and say, okay, left side street's gonna be less expensive, easier to get it installed, less construction.
But I
And
hear you,
there
and
are a lot
thank you
goes
for
into it.
indoctrinating us, because, you know, when I look at the City of Hinesville meetings, when they're discussing road projects, they have a lot of questions kind of like this. Well, how did this happen? So we really don't know how that happened. So when we get a call, so this way we get to educate the public that they're engineering concerns.
Right.
You know, all those things. And this is a phase in, you're starting on this side, but your plans are to come back in the future to do that side.
But of course, you know, Demery doesn't have the drainage,
Yeah.
so.
That's right. It's always had a drainage problem in that street.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we still, that's gonna be a future project that's gonna cost a whole lot.
Yeah, one of the
So,
bigger costs of this project is the Elm Street and the Elm Street, Demery Street intersection. The way all that drainage sets up there, we're kind of setting it up for future.
Yeah. Well,
But it's still expensive.
so in retrospect, would we do Demery Street the way it was done in now? Or would we do something different so the drainage would have been?
We'd do different.
Be different.
Yes, our requirements now require curb and gutter, more like what you see on Windhaven. And we actually, in the city of Hinesville, require sidewalks on both sides of the street. We also require some sidewalks in Liberty County as well. We pretty much have the same standard. So as you're starting to see some of the subdivisions come up under the newer standards, you'll see more sidewalks.
That's why the infrastructure in my particular district that I represent costs more because of the lack of
Get under
the
the-
curb and gutter.
Well, and you gotta
What else?
stop and think for like Demery Street, I know I'm going a little too long on this, but so Demery Street, the road is up above the roads, above the yards.
It is.
So you got road, ditch, yard, and the yard's down here, so I gotta put curb and gutter, but then I gotta get rid of the water in the yard, so I've got a longitudinal pipe going the whole way with almost a box or 2 boxes in everybody's yard to keep the yards draining, to fill in the ditches, to put the sidewalk in. So it just becomes very, very expensive. Yeah, I think when you got the estimate, it was like,
Oh,
whoa.
man.
But anyhow, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, thank you for
divert so
sharing. We
much.
need to know. We need to know.
We're making a little bit more progress on the easements on the railroad, the water system west of the railroad. Got 1 or 2 signed this week. Actually, we're able to find some people that have been a little bit elusive to us as far as who needed to be contacted, and I had some meetings with them. So that's looking better than it's been looking for the last several months. Limerick Road overlay and repair, that project's basically done. When we sent all the signal stuff up to DOT, basically the flashing light may end up going away because with the addition of the right turn lane and the left turn lane that they did, that light is no longer meets the warrants to have the yellow flashing light. So it may go away. We may end up with beacons, like you've seen the signs with the yellow flashing light in front of it, and those are solar powered. So we may end up with those, but right now, the warrants don't even require that. So it's going through district up to Atlanta and back down to know what's gonna happen.
So is it a county and DOT decision, or is it a DOT?
It's a
decision?
DOT decision.
Okay, so it's their
Okay.
baby, okay. Once again, citizens need to know that.
Yep.
Why'd y'all take our light down?
Yeah,
It wasn't us.
yeah, it's, well, we've made improvements to that
Yeah,
intersection to
right.
make it much better now.
Right.
So I think, although you're not seeing it right now, but once you get the right turn lane, things are gonna flow a little bit faster.
Okay.
We're getting close to the finish with our environmental stuff on Islands Highway, and we'll be moving quickly into real design on that. Claudia Lane Water System, Commissioner Giller's not here. We've reviewed all the shop drawings. I think the material is on order now, and we should be getting that going pretty quick.
Excuse me, Mr. Brown, where'd you say that money was coming from?
That money's
Claudia Lane?
Oh, Claudia Lane?
Yeah.
Portion of it, y'all made a motion sometime back to use some ARPA funds to help supplement that. So it's coming from that and some money that came from drainage funds from a leftover sales tax. It's not coming out of any kind of other type of commissioner district funds or anything like that.
No, I was just curious where was it, because I know I didn't have it.
That's right.
In Limerick is coming from, there we go. I'm just trying to keep up with the districts that used to be up here. But, yeah. we'll talk
Yeah,
about
I
it.
gotta
We'll-
get back.
Yeah, we'll
I
talk
see
about
where
it
I
later.
didn't do the districts this time. I usually do it and then go back and add them at the end, and I think I got distracted. So, I know to do that.
No
so.
problem, no problem.
Jones Creek Park, we did do a little layout, kind of want you guys to look at it. We did do a layout for pickleball there at Liberty Independent Creek Park. Kind of submitted that for review, and the water plan that we're working on, mostly it's how are we going to handle the east end of the county? And it will update it to include the Walterville, Hinesville, Flemington section after that. But we're trying to need, our biggest crunch is down on the east end. As we have industry trying to come, how are we serving industry? How are we serving the Midway? How are we serving the county, the unincorporated areas of the county down there? So we've almost got that plan wrapped up. We have another meeting on April 4th, and that should pretty much wrap us up to be able to present a preliminary report for everybody to look at on that.
And Mr. Chair, since we're talking about water, I know I made a request about us with the Water Resource Council. It's, I guess, reactivating it, or
You did.
So, yes, sir, I think I'm not sure what they've done with the policy committee on the Water Resource Council.
I'm not either on the policy committee.
So,
Yeah.
but most all of us are the technical committee that are putting this report together.
Understood.
So we're functioning on the technical side.
Yeah.
But we just need to get the policy side.
Right. There we go. So,
And we do have that on your agenda for next week's workshop, for him to do a complete overview for y'all on what's going on.
kudos. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And then we've been working at the Villages Limerick. Commissioner Jones had asked to have some of the roads fixed down there, so we're gonna use what funds we have from, the LMIG to make some improvements down there. Now, the last thing I have on my agenda, if it's okay to move on, is to the, Middle Park Fire Station landscaping, or do we have comments before I need to move?
Yeah, I got something I need. On Bill Carter Road, I noticed today, it looked like they dropped some hay off. It looked like it fell off of a truck and just rolled over on the side of the road. It's in balls and clunks. I don't know if they expect for that to help grass grow, or did it just fell off a truck?
I have not seen that yet.
Well, it just
We
happened
actually-
today.
We actually had a pretty strong conversation with him last Friday, with the owner of Platinum. He said, hey, yeah, we're still holding money on this. And he said, he called his guys right up and said, hey, we're putting grass out there next week. Now, when I came through this afternoon, well, I came through about lunch through Bill Carter Road, and it was not there.
It was there about.
Had to be this afternoon.
About 2 o'clock, somewhere around there, it was there. Looked like it just fell off the back of a truck and rolled over in the ditch.
I'll call and get them to kind of, they need to clean that up. That's not what we need.
No.
You know, we need grass on that 300-foot strip of grass, bare area is what we need.
And also, you know, I've been asking you about the putting together a pre-meeting or whatever you want to call it with the 3 businesses, churches, 2 churches that's going to be involved in the possible roundabout at the crossroads, which is Barrington Ferry and 119, because they're constantly asking me, can we at least have a sit-down meeting?
Yes, sir.
To know what to expect.
What I was trying to do is let that be part of our public information open house that we've got to do. I mean, if we need to go ahead and do one early, we can go ahead and do one early.
We need to sit down and talk with them,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
Chairman, if you have time, I'd like for you to be involved
Sure.
with that.
I'll get Michelle to call you and try to schedule something, and maybe you and I can go talk to some of the representatives, and I can show them what the thought processes are and kind of where we are.
Well, that's what they want to know, because you know with that roundabout now, that store has been built there. And she's put a lot of time and money into it. And you got the church on the other side, First AB, which is just added on to the sign.
Now, we're talking about the roundabout at Barrington Ferry, Lewis Fraser, 17.
No.
You want to talk about the one over
Crossroads.
there at Crossroads?
At Crossroads.
Crossroads.
Okay.
Right. They would like to know, is it still coming, whatever, but I prefer them to hear from you.
Right, yes, sir. We were doing the other one first, and we don't have funding for the one at Crossroads yet. But we have been asking for funding.
Now, another thing is, I've been getting phone calls about 119 and that being the bypass. With it still being a two-lane highway, you ought to be down at the end of Barrington Ferry and 119 about between 4 and 6 o'clock. The cars that's making a right turn onto it, going to Walthallville, and you're already having a problem with cars speeding down that two-lane highway. If that's gonna be a bypass, it's gonna help these funeral homes out. I'm gonna say it just like that.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's going to be, a death trap. So we don't know who we need to get with, but we need to get with somebody, because it's not going to work at
Yes, sir.
all. Because now you're gonna have log trucks, school bus, and everything else. And when you got a school bus, they're already running the school bus stop signs now already. And the first chance they get, you may have 4, 5, 6 cars trying to pass one other car that's doing the speed limit. So
Yes, sir.
I'm begging all of those that are involved, let's revisit that somehow or another.
Okay. Certainly can do that.
And also another thing I've got, Mr. Chairman, thank you and Mr. Brown for taking a tour. But the speed limit on Islands Highway is actually 55 miles an hour. I've talked with quite a few people down there. They said if it says 55, they're gonna do 65. They would like to see it, some of them consider it being 45. That's not a state highway. That's a road that's regulated by the county. Am I correct? That's something that we need to look at also.
Yes, sir. Yes, we'll be glad to do that. We do speed studies pretty regular, trying to establish what speed limits are recommended on certain routes. Basically, you look at traffic counts, you look at 85 percentile speeds, you look at hazards, roadside hazards like the number of driveways, the poles, and things like that. And there are tools that the Federal Highway Authority puts out that helps you identify what the regulatory out there is 55 miles an hour. But it helps you establish what the speed limit should be. Now, we have a speed ordinance. You guys actually vote on that speed ordinance every couple of years. And that speed ordinance has to get approved by the Department of Transportation for you to be able to enforce your speed limits and write tickets based on those roads. Now, residential roads that are like in subdivisions like that, you don't have to do all that because those are regulatory speeds, 35 in the county, 30 in cities, when you're in like residential neighborhoods. So you don't have to have all those done. But your highways and county routes, you have to get those approved by DOT. So we do the studies that go through and say, all right, these are the criteria that you look at, and these are what the recommendations are gonna be. Now, I can present that to you guys. You can look at it, and if you would like to suggest a lower speed limit, we can also offer a lower speed limit, and we can push it through to DOT to get it approved. And if it gets approved, that will really help us. But one of the things that you want to be careful of is, you know, if you go out there and you got a roadway and your 85 percentile speed is 55 miles an hour or greater, and then you go and you lower the speed limit to 45, then you're making 85% of your traveling traffic violators. So you've kind of got to be careful on how you do that. So I understand, and I want to make sure that we address it, but also want you to kind of know what's kind of behind it.
Well, and I understand what you're saying about DOT. About DOT don't give us a darn penny for that road.
No, they don't. So, but that way you understand the process. That way, not that I'm just trying to blow smoke. I'm just
Also, my
trying
speed
to tell you.
bumps. My speed bumps.
Yes, sir. We got the prices coming for you on the speed bumps.
Okay.
I should have that first part of next week.
Okay.
So I've already asked for it.
And we have not made any different opinion on the DOT and the Peacock Bridge
Right.
remaining open while they can do another one. We hadn't,
They haven't changed on that.
That's gonna cause a lot of inconvenience, right?
Yes, sir. The best thing that they've been able to do is try to shorten the construction time period so that it can get opened up sooner. So, but I will reiterate that through the district engineer to make sure we want to keep the closure time to a minimum.
Okay.
See if they can add it in the special conditions.
And one other thing, Mr. Chair, we talked, I asked you the last time about, I can't remember what was the proper term on it, just like Bill Carter Road, it's not, the paving is complete, but the grassing is not completed. Are they still in default?
No, sir. Those are grassing when the road's in substantial completion. And for the most part, we had most of the grassing. So that kind of becomes more of a warranty issue. But yes, we are still holding monies from their contract. I can't off the top of my head tell you how much we're holding from Platinum right now, but we're holding more money from them than it's going to cost to put the grass in.
And I guess this would be a question for Mr. Brown. On the monies that are supposed to be returned from companies that are over their time default, where does that money go? Does it go back to that particular project in that district, or if it's a countywide project, does it go there, or does it go into the general fund?
So, no, sir, it wouldn't go into well, it depends on where the project's being funded from, but it would go back to the original project source. So for instance, if y'all make a motion to do a contract, let's say on the gym, and the gym comes under budget at the end, so it doesn't use the retainage, that goes back into that project fund, i.e. recreation, to do that. So it would go back into the road funds. If it was not all spent, it'd go back into the commission district from wherever it came.
I think I probably said it incorrectly. If they're overdue on completing the project and we start charging them.
If we collect liquidated damages on there, and our capital projects like buildings, generally you don't have liquidated damages on there because all that does is cause them to up their price at time of bid, especially as time limits go, because the materials are hard to get. Anyway, but if liquidated damages are assessed, then basically it's liquidated damages in the end that we wouldn't pay them. So the same thing would happen. It would stay in that fund, wherever it came from.
So,
Did I confuse that all up? Road is probably the best thing. If we assess liquidated damages on a road, it would be, we would just not pay them out all their funds. We would subtract that liquidated damage from a final payment to them. So in essence, that project would end up under budget. So the fund that it came from out of the districts wouldn't be charged as much.
so actually right now, not calling any particular project, we got one that's probably overdue now. So we would be good with that one, or liquidated damage is not included in that one?
Liquidated damage is not included in that one. Correct.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Long.
Okay. So the next thing on my agenda is the landscape proposals we received for the Miller Park Fire Station. We did put this out for competitive proposals. It was posted in the paper. It was put on the state procurement website. We also do an email blast to 20-plus contractors we have on our list that have demonstrated bonding abilities and interest in this kind of work. Most of what we're sending them to are heavy road contractors. We did have 2 proposers pick up plans. The landscape business there, Midway, Trey Heath picked up one, and Siddle picked up one as well. They both attended the mandatory pre-bid conference. Excuse me. And only Siddle submitted a proposal. We did look at the proposal. Our estimates on this job were pretty close to $100,000. We did have a committee that met, and the committee did recommend Siddle for the installation of the landscaping.
Where's Siddle? Is
Siddle,
that
so
is that
he
land, is that the paving company?
No. It's Ashley Siddle. His dad is Vaughn Siddle. Ashley Siddle grew up here in Hinesville.
Never heard of that. You heard that name?
You know Miss Poole that had the IGA in town?
Oh, okay.
It's her son.
Mhm.
So he grew up here in Hinesville.
Okay.
He lives in Glenville now, so he can't claim local preference, but he is actually from Hinesville, and he's here all the time.
That's the one, that's not the father, that's the son, correct?
That's the son, that's right.
So that's the one that went towards Southern and all of that,
Right.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's done work for us in the past, a
Yes.
lot of work.
I've seen that
Well, you
name.
know, as a matter of fact, he's the one that actually installed all the landscaping at
And
17 and
17 and all
196.
that. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done a lot of work for us in
At
the
some point, we
past.
need to kind of revamp that, but,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it looked really good for a long time.
Then all of it start dying out.
yeah.
Yeah, it did. So, but anyhow, he's the one that got this. This has irrigation in it as well as all the trees and shrubs. I don't have any fluff built into it, so these are just what it's gonna take.
Mr. Brown,
Yes, sir.
on this project, all of the trees, the last time I looked at the plans, are we taking any trees out?
It was modified, yes,
It
sir.
was modified?
Based on what you and I talked about. There were some trees that were closed, what I'm gonna call on the inner circle in there, that could be hindrances, and so we removed those.
Because we don't want to put a tree that right now, and 5 years from now, we probably won't, none of us be up here, or whatever the case may be, and then it starts tearing
Speak
up.
for yourself, man. I'm joking.
That's right, you one of them young ones.
Well, we took all the trees out of the back off too.
And the trees start uprooting and the asphalt or the cement, then we have to go back and do something else. That's what I want to make sure that we don't have in this project.
But y'all did,
Most of the large trees are out.
leave us some
side.
atmosphere. Y'all left some.
Oh, plenty, plenty, yes, sir, plenty.
All right.
So so it was 2 that came to the initial meeting, correct?
That's right.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. 2 that came, but only 1 turned in the bid.
That's correct.
So
It's hard to find
right.
landscape companies that can do
that's what it sounds
projects
like.
this size, that have the crews and the equipment. to do
I'm
it.
just in the wrong business, I promise you.
They have the bonding capacity too. So-
Yeah, the more I think about it, Mr. Chair, I'm just in the wrong business, man, because people, like,
Turning down work.
man, I'm talking about,
Mr. Chairman, you need a motion on this?
We do, sir.
Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the bidding process from C.A. Sills
In the
for
amount-
$112,305.95 and no more.
Is there a second?
second, but
There's a question from Commissioner Jones.
there we go.
Yeah, Mr. Brown,
Yes, sir.
how is this going to be funded?
It's coming out of that project budget, out of, actually a loan that y'all authorized for the station to be built. It was put in the budget as part of the budget for that project.
And if I heard you say correctly, you were estimating 100,000, so it just came a little
A little more, yes.
That's after y'all value engineered it some, took out,
We did take out some trees.
all right.
And who was all on the committee?
Me, Joey, Joseph, and
That
David.
one over here that's smiling with his head down. He's probably one of the scores on this thing.
Not playing alone.
You got smart.
All in favor? Show of hands, please. All right, motion passes. $112,305.95 for the landscape.
Oh, yeah, it's been like
Yes, sir. All right, I've taken up a bunch of your time,
No, I'm sorry.
unless you need me anymore. All right,
Oh,
thank you.
one other thing, Mr. Long. Mr. Brown, Chairman, Board of Commissioners. We are in desperate need of material to fix roadways that we have put asphalt milling on. Image side the road where the mail carrier pulls up the boxes, to put mail in boxes at. I don't know what we're gonna do, but the county is, in the rural area, is falling down because we can't find the material that we need.
Right.
So, I mean, do we go out and buy dirt from a dirt pit that's suitable to fix some of these side of the road projects, or what? I don't know.
So there are several pits to buy from. And we have a pit there at the Continuing Education Center, Airport Road and Hardman Road, that we don't use very much during Walterville. It's permitted to be much bigger than what it is. And it's full of the hard pan, which is great dirt for structurally building a road. Like if I'm gonna build a road and put asphalt, and stone and asphalt on top of it, it's great. But if using it to fix something that's gonna stay dirt, it kinda turns sandy. And so that's why you don't see the road department using it as often as you might think, because they end up spending more time pulling people out when it's dry, because it's kinda, it's a great structural dirt, it's just not good by itself. So, you know, what we could do, the next time we have an asphalt milling job, if we can find a place to stockpile millings, we could request that the millings be placed at a stockpile of our choice. So, you know, we can do some of that. Now, that does usually make our price go up a little bit because, you know, they do factor getting those millings in and being able to use those millings. So, but we can do that.
I'm quite
But
sure.
that's
Commissioner-
not, that's a long-term fix, that's not a short-term
Right,
fix.
I know Commissioner Jones is sitting right over there, and I'm not speaking for him, but we have, and some roads that we need some help right away somehow.
And I would say that maybe an option is more expensive is stone, but stone's hard to get. It's still very hard to get, even for the contractors to get allotments of it. And I have talked to Industrial Authority about trying to look at some of their pits, and they've said fine. So, I mean, I know Trent and I've had that conversation too.
And it's a definitely no-no from that company at McIntosh. Pretty well, right?
Oh, the asphalt millings they got stockpiled right there?
Yeah.
On the old Sasser Pond?
Yeah, the mountain.
Yeah, we haven't been able to get any from them in a while.
So theirs is all promised out? So yeah.
I
And
wish we
and
had
they
bought-
use it, when they make recycled asphalt, they take it to their plant and they're recycling it, making their asphalt.
So it's a very profitable market for them right now with that.
Just can't get the stone to make new asphalt as easy as they can take that, and it's more certain for them.
Yeah.
The stone is just so hard to get.
Okay.
And just remember, that used to be a pond.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that used
I
to be a
remember.
pond.
I remember.
Many
With a house
trucks,
on
many trucks have gone in it. Many.
Yeah, people is fishing it, you're right. Yeah.
All right, I didn't mean to take up your time, but just wanted to.
Thank
get
you
that
Very
in.
much.
Yes,
Matter of
you
fact, I
did.
spoke to Larry Sasser, whose dad owned that, today about an easement.
Mr. Odom, you've been very patient, sir.
Thank you very much.
Come and talk to us.
Oh.
Let's see here. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
How are you,
Yes,
sir?
Quite well today. Phil Odom, some of you know me, some of you don't.
We know you.
The Liberty County Cultural and Historic Resources Committee has been around since 2006. I've been a member of it since 2011 when Commissioner Walden voluntold me to go serve on it before I became a planning commissioner. So that's how I've been involved with our culture and our history for some time now. Let's see, that's the pointer. We go forward. There we go. The Liberty County Cultural and Historic Resources Commission mission is pretty simple. It's to maintain an inventory of all structures and sites and objects within Liberty County that exhibit special historical, architectural, cultural, and environmental character worthy of possible preservation, and to ensure that the Liberty County Planning Commission fully considers historic properties presented by any zoning or development. Oops. These are the committee members from 2021. Yes. Renee Reese, Ms. Lovett, Ms. Pace, Mr. Baker, and myself. And as you can see, we currently have Mr. Baker, Ms. Lovett, Ms. Lynn Pace, and Jeffrey Porter. Ms. Carolyn Carter, who has been a member, is asked not to be reappointed this year. I have a letter here that says, Dear Chairman Lovett, Commissioners, it is informed you that the following committee members would like to be retain their position with the Liberty Cultural and Historic Resources Committee. Ms. Lynn Pace, Mr. Jeffrey Porter, Ms. Lucretia Lovett, Mr. Jason Baker. I myself, as a chairman of the committee, is appointed by the Planning Commission, and I was just appointed at our last meeting Tuesday. So I'll be at the helm of this committee for another go-round. That is something for y'all to consider. I'll give this to Mr. Brown. It's the letter.
So we have 2 vacant positions?
For reappointment to that. Now, what we do is we follow the Georgia Department of Community Affairs Historic Preservation Division rules and regulations. You have qualified local government, certified local government, and those rules are pretty much the same as far as historical preservation is concerned. Age, integrity, and significance, and it's got to be in the GNARIS base. Now that is the Georgia Natural, Archaeological, and Historical Resources GIS database. There are 474 parcels, sites, and properties in Liberty County in the state database. The Cultural and Historic Resources Committee, in conjunction with the Liberty County Historical Society, has a database that the society maintains, and we have 562 properties in that one. That is something that the staff at the Planning Commission checks every time an application comes in. They have this database to work off of. In 2018 and 2020, the members of this committee, along with the members of the Hinesville Preservation Committee, did a 2-year survey of those 474 properties. Miss Wincy Poon, when she was with the city, she got us a program. We put it on our personal laptop computers. We went around the county, we checked them off, we made pictures, we did everything, and we submitted it to the state and to verify that those parcels were there and what had changed. And every 2 years from the city of Hinesville and from the Liberty County Inspections and Building Department, I get a list of demolition properties that I can compare against what is in the historical database so we can see what's been removed. And I'll push the right button. This is the GNARIS database. You can go online. Anybody can look at it, and there's 474 properties, and it'll take you all throughout the county. Now, this is what the federal government recognizes in Liberty County as historical and cultural. This is the Bacon Fraser House. Everybody knows that downtown. The Eddie Bowen Farm. That's the Seabrook Village. Right. Castle Store. That's in my community of McIntosh. It's demolition by neglect. It's on the ground. Dorchester Academy Boys Dormitory, Flemington Presbyterian Church, Fort Morris, Liberty County Historic Courthouse next door, Little Liberty County Jail. This one caught me off surprise when I looked at it in the federal regulations. The Midway Historic District is the church, the cemetery, the museum, and the Gulf Station.
Gulf Station?
The Gulf Station is owned by the church.
Oh.
It is part of the church property. And all of St. Catherine, Sam Rifley Farm, which is on Dorchester Village, which is inactive right now, and all of St. Catherine's Island, and Woodmanston LeCompte Botanical Garden. Those are the places that the federal government says we have it here. Now, in Liberty County, we have 89 historical markers throughout the county. And May is Marker Cleaning Month, sponsored by the Georgia Historical Society. And we go out and follow their procedure of cleaning all the markers. The committee members, along with the ladies over at the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Miss Leah and hers, they have a list. We work together. And we go every May and clean all the markers in the county. We have a spreadsheet. We put it color-coded so everybody knows what's going on. And to give you an idea of some of what we have to deal with, we have Georgia Historical Society, Liberty County Historical Society, Garden Clubs of Georgia, the Lambert Trust, the Atlantic Coast Highway Trust, St. John's Chapter, the Daughters of the American Colonists, Daughters of the American Revolution, about 3 more. I just ran out of space to put them up there. It takes an act of Congress. We've all heard that. This was an act of Congress that occurred on April the 26th in 1915. This is the oldest monument in Liberty County. Now, I'd like to take a moment and talk about Brigadier General James Scriven. There is a Georgia historical marker up at Mamie's Road on US 17, right up from the new fire station that y'all have built. On November the 24th of 1778,
New EMS station? The new EMS station?
Yes, the new EMS, this is up in it. Down at the bottom of the hill where it curves, you can see it. We'll get to that in just a moment. This on the historical marker, Mr. Chairman, you and I have been to that one. I've already been back 3 times.
Have you?
It was not flat on the ground. I've had to erect it and put it back up again. It's in the bad place, and that's what I'm reading to and what it says. But this is your EMS station. History tells us that General Scriven was at the head of his officers and the men. He crossed a wooden bridge over this creek, and somewhere between here and here, he was ambushed and shot off his horse and mortally wounded. All the officers in front were all wounded, but they had escaped. They had run into a detachment of 50 British scouts and a group of Talladega Indian that ambushed them. And General Scriven was captured and moved to Tranquil Plantation, where General Provost with the British had set up his headquarters, and that was Daniel Stewart's house at Tranquil Plantation. But what we would like to ask you to consider is contacting the Georgia Historical Society, because several years ago, the General Assembly made a state law that you can't move a marker without asking the owner's permission to move it. Yes. So the Georgia Historical Society has a marker here. If you could see about considering moving it to the EMS station in the parking lot where it doesn't get run over, we'd appreciate it. That's just something for y'all to consider.
And where at now, to the EMS?
To the EMS station. You've got a little grassy knoll in your parking lot. It would make a great spot to put it there. It wouldn't get it would be out of the way. It wouldn't get hit by the truck traffic that is coming in and out of this. I believe that's Smiley Hall subdivision back in there.
No, that's Mamie Road.
Yes.
Mamie Road.
Mamie, I can't say, thank you, sir. But yes, it's right there on that corner.
Yeah. If
I
not
would just
there,
like for y'all to consider
make sure
requesting
to
to
consider
move it.
this. If not that location, be thinking about another one in that area, if you will. Just kind
Okay.
of ponder it.
I ponder it, but
Yeah.
this used to be a roadside park when the Georgia Department of Transportation,
okay.
when this marker was put up in 56, this was a roadside park on US 17, and that's why the marker's there. If you'll look at what it says, General Scriven was mortally wounded in battle, fought near this spot. So that marker is just somewhere in that half-a-mile stretch of road is where and over the years of widening New Inverness Highway to Coastal Highway to US 17, any traces of a military engagement there have long been destroyed due to the expansion of the roadway. An archaeological survey is not necessary, but it is a historical place. But if you want us to consider we're looking for it, we could look someplace else, but it would be interesting to get that moved out of the way. Today, we had the second meeting of the semi-quincentennial commission that is being led by the HDDA. We set up a stakeholders committee, and we're getting a timeline of events. Our committee, it meets on the odd months, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Y'all are all invited to come over at 11:30 to the LCPC conference room. We serve Baldino sandwiches. You're welcome to participate in us. And that's my presentation, and any questions?
Mr. Odom, there's an old house, Mr. Chairman, right across from the Dorchester, the Midway Congregational Church, right next to where the old funeral home was at. What does it take to look at that and see would it qualify for, to be on the historical?
It's on the Liberty County Historical Society's list.
The old
It's
house?
on I know exactly the one you're talking
Right.
about. 36 foot by 36 foot, 2 stories tall.
2 stories tall, yeah, 2
Yes,
stories. Yeah.
that is in the Liberty County Historical Database. It's not in the state's database.
Okay.
In 2030, there's an opportunity to reassess all of the county. Liberty County Historical Society has records that start in 1972, and it's about 14 different surveys that have been done, and none of them have been a complete survey of history and culture. It's always been part. Even our state database has committee members are constantly, and when we did the survey, we came up with about another 35 properties that's not on the state database that should qualify, but we can't put them on there. It has to be by a contractor that is certified to do work with the Department of Community Affairs. That's the only way you change the Georgia Norris database is. So in 2030, I'd like for y'all to consider, that's a few years out, 6 years out, see about finding some funds that we could have a contractor look at the county, and Mr. Chairman, you're on the governing board of the Planning Commission. That would be the avenue to work it from, but we need everybody to contribute because we need to really do a complete survey. We've never really had one that covers everything.
One other question.
Yes, sir.
One other question. On Bill Carter Road, Mr. Chairman, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Union Brotherhood Society Hall.
Mr. Randy Branch and I, 4 years ago, reached out to the surviving members of that society, and we approached them to save that building before it collapsed.
Right.
They did not want to do anything to it. If the owner doesn't want to do anything, what are you going to do?
But right now, it's an eyesore.
It is an eyesore. It's a blight.
Right.
It's demolition by neglect.
Right.
And I don't know how you would go about getting the landowner, the owner, or the trustees of that church to move forward. They were just not receptive to doing anything to it when we approached them before it collapsed.
How many survivors are there? Any idea? How many? I don't
About, there might be 2, 3 max probably right now.
Without resources.
Yes.
To do
Do what, sir?
demolition. They don't have the resources.
They
to
don't
do-
have the resources.
do the
They,
demolition, yeah.
we approached them to offer to help get grants, and every grant requires somebody to bring money to the table. You cannot get 100% funding. No, y'all know that.
Right.
So, but they were not in the position to be financially stable to put anything in it.
Yeah.
We looked at what the society could do, and it was not in our best interest because they did not want to keep it up once it was repaired. And so that was one, Commissioner Stevens, that we made an effort, but when the owner of the property says they don't want to do anything, you just have to back away.
Other than the historical marker being there, can't you, for lack of a better way to say it, celebrate what happened there without the building being actually physically there?
Well, the marker will always be there.
Right.
It will say that the site was, and if you'll notice, that small tract of land does not meet zoning requirements today. You cannot build hardly, you couldn't build anything on that small track.
I think it's a 0.35.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's less than a quarter of an acre.
Right.
It's not even, it's
So-
a very, very small
So it
track.
would take a good Samaritan to even offer to do demolition there, clean it up?
I have tried, and yeah, I've met with a brick wall.
Yeah.
And
The material, if it had been disassembled, could have had some value, but now that it has collapsed and the roof is off of it, the termites have found it.
It into it.
It's, it really does need to be cleaned up, and that's, sorry, but we just don't have the funds for that kind of preservation.
I'm just wondering, how do other communities do those kind of things? Once again, it's just a good Samaritan who say, you know, this is my community, I'll donate whatever amount of funds to at least do demolition and make the spot, I mean, you're right, the marker's gonna be there, but at least clean the spot up so that when people stop by to read the marker, they'll have a.
Yeah, but, so that's the best I can tell you on that. Any other questions? Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I appreciate you taking the time to listen
You know,
to me.
I'm wondering sometimes,
And one other thing on a side note, Commissioner Frazier,
Yes, sir.
if you would like an education in water, I'd be glad to sit down
Trust
with
me,
you.
I remember those days.
I'm just received notice from the governor's office that I have been reappointed to the Coastal Georgia EPD Water Planning Council for
There
my
we go.
4th term, so I'll be 20 years now serving on that water council. I'll be glad to share with you my education I have received from the state over the last 15 years.
Absolutely.
So let me know when you're available, and we'll sit down and talk about that.
Will do. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your time.
Thank you,
All right,
sir.
thank you.
Appreciate you. Mr.
Moving
Brown?
right along.
Hey, just a couple of things real quickly is, just to let you know, the Health Department went through the Downtown Review Board process yesterday. They recommended approval or recommendation for approval for the aesthetic qualities of the new Health Department. That'll be heard by the City Council on April 4th, 2024. And I will have some rendered drawings to be able to show you all next week when we get together. And I will remind Mr. Long too, I think he mentioned something about a list. It triggered LMIG to me. So there's the LMIG, regular LMIG money that we need to send in a request for, but there's also some extra LMIG money that was dispersed by the state this year for safety projects. So I'll remind him to get with the commission and be prioritizing some list of things there, if that's okay. On the calendar, we've got our planning session next week, as you're aware, starting at 8:30 on the 26th, and then the county mid-year reviews on the 27th of that. Budgets went out. They're due back in on the 29th, as a matter of fact. And so we'll start with those budget presentations, and you'll obviously got an April calendar, but we'll get those to you. Those budget presentations are on the 15th and the 19th. So just some upcoming things there, sir.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order?
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to say real quickly, congratulations to First Presbyterian for making it to the state championship. Came a little bit short, but, you know, they did represent Liberty County well, so I just wanted to recognize them.
Beat runner-ups, Sunday?
They were runner-up.
Runner-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's, even if we do a general certificate of recognition, we can go over there and present it to. We'll talk with Shane and see if he want to bring somebody here, or we can take it over there.
Okay, right. I
can
know
make some-
either
Make a
myself.
little fuss about them.
Right. No problem. I reach out to him.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown, this is for information.
That's what Ms. Richardson gave out earlier.
Getting ready for
That's
the
your-
budget.
That's the proposed CIP for 25, and then she'll go over that in detail next week with you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
And
Sounds good.
Mr. Stafford, we have your letter of resignation, please, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Not accepted.
Yeah, we'll, somebody got some big shoes to fill.
Not accepted.
All right. Chair, take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Stand adjourned. Thank you.
Jump up.